Now, one of the aspects I would say stands out the most in your story is how Company A's approach contrasted with modern cloud native principles. Could you elaborate on their legacy PHP development approach and how it compared to containerized application delivery?
hmm Okay, so what did the company A had at the time? They had a basically custom PHP application without any framework to start with. So you cannot introduce something like Laravel or basically any like Symfony or any other project. So everything from the top to bottom was custom built at the time. There was, of course, one person in the circle or in the middle circle that was in charge, and others were not much challenging, let's say, the architect of it. As it is currently the homegrown solution, you can imagine that it has several layers, and of course, the customizations were not very well thought through. So I would say that the base was meant to be MVC, but in the views, you could also trigger some logic, and this was, for example, very problematic. It was not object-oriented at all. It was all based on the functions, which was very interesting because on the one hand, it was very easy to understand. The flow was typically much easier than you can see in many, for example, Java applications in comparison. But the logic was also very heavily depending on function exists. So you could override basically any functions that there were, but you could not, for example, wrap the functions inside each other, or there were some limitations like this. So when you did some copying and pasting, it was very fine, but as the layers evolved, it was difficult for the extensions, which I will talk later on, to keep up with. So you had a, let's say, core component, and typically the customer was